Ah, the sweet sounds of mutant music. How are y'all today on this beautiful day? Well, at least it is in my neighborhood. I'm here to bring you the third, but certainly not final, installment of the Rollin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After all, it is still January, and I made a promise, and I'm going to keep on fulfilling that promise. Those of you that care. Today's spotlight is the third of the four Rollin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heavy Metal Raph, the Green Governor of Guitar. Much like the trim on the card of Classic Rocker Leo and Punker Rocker Don, Heavy Metal Raph's got a real zebra striped or very rare white tiger stripe pattern on his card. Very similar to what heavy metal artists of the hair metal and the power metal generation wore. Is the same old green on brick stylings. And I think you're getting bored with cards, so why don't we get to reviewing the actual figure himself. Heavy Metal Raph in all of his rocking glory. Heavy Metal Raph, of course, is sported, not spotted, in the traditional heavy metal attire seen by virtually every hair metal artist from the early to the late 1980s, before Metallica, Anthrax, and other bands, and the grunge of Pearl Jam and Nirvana really shut that whole look and style down. He sports with custom-made yellow leather boots, custom because of his little turtle toes, with chainmail wrapped around them, the tiger or zebra striped, whatever your preference is, spandex pants, even his traditional elbow pads and knee pads are got little spikes going through them. He's wearing a torn sleeved shirt in a very, very, I wouldn't exactly say royal purple, more of a violet, with chains wrapped around the arms, and unpainted chains wrapped around his wrists. He also sports a dog collar that wraps around his neck with a little chain, much like Raph's out of control musical styles. He has busted loose. It's also got like a little star pendant wrapped around, hanging from his chest, and a microphone from his studded belt with his classic R initial. Heavy Metal Raph has a very almost angry type of animated face to him. Very, very, very Raph in respect. Now for the bad. Much like the bad, like all the other classic rock and roll and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the sculpting is brilliant, but it's just the minor details that hadn't been painted in, such as the torn shirt here. There should be a green painted in here. The chain should be painted unless he's wrapped around in green chains. The chain should be painted on his boots. And the chain wrapped around the dog collar. Now they actually did paint the dog collar all the way through, as you can see here. But they didn't paint the chain. I just don't see why they couldn't have painted the chain. Oh well. Of course, what's a fun figure without some fun figure accessories? His bass bashing guitar, which has a strap, as you can see here.
This is one of the ones that once you put the strap on, it's kind of hard and difficult to remove, and I really don't want to break the strap, so whatever. 2 drumstick size. Possibly my favorite accessory, just because it's his trademark signature weapon. Almost looks like he just tore the metal blade off and stuck a drumstick in it. It's very textured, got very wood details to it. I don't know if you can see. And 2 of his greatest hits, the foot stomp and ninja rock. The foot stomp, I can't help but think like Zombie Stomp from Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tears album, released in the very same year of 1991, by the way. I find with Raph's sculpt, which of course is the same articulation as the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the Rock and Rollin' series, head, shoulder, wrists, elbows, and ball-jointed hips. Raph seems to can only play his guitar in one specific way, and that is up. Much like all metal artists in the 1980s would hold their guitars up in a flashy way. Not necessarily playing them perfectly, but just something to get the crowd all roaring up. And since it's in such an aggressive manner, it's definitely Raph in all respects. And unlike classic rocker Leo, when Raph is holding on to his signature musical altered weapon, it doesn't look entirely silly. It actually looks, with the sculpt of the arms, that he looks like he's actually playing drums, which is kind of cool. Just put like a little spare drum in there and bam, he's playing drums. But if you hold it in this respect, it does look kind of silly. That really doesn't look very threatening. Unless you hold it up like this, like, yeah, I'm throwing my drumsticks up in the air, yeah.
And that is Heavy Metal Raph, the third but certainly not final installment in this series of Rock and Rollin' Turtles, which leaves only one more turtle to be reviewed, and of course that will be next week. Who will it be? I don't know, but I know you're all cringing in anticipation. So, what are your thoughts on Heavy Metal Raph? Leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them. Did he certainly jam out a few good ones with you back in the day, or is his music as lame now as it was back then? So until next time, keep on rocking and rolling.